I first began makeup right after high school. I went to makeup school in Florida, and from there it just kind of grew into this thing where I wanted to do photography makeup. I wanted to learn all aspects of makeup, and I just kind of tiptoed in like a bunch of different things. I tried a little bit of everything until I kind of came into the bridal field. And when I moved to Springfield, I worked for the Mac counter, and I just met a bunch of amazing clients that eventually they wanted to book me for weddings and things of that sort. And it kind of just snowballed from there.
Is it silicone or?
I'm glad you asked that.
Because I know you can't.
It really doesn't matter, to be honest. For me, when I hear that theory, I'm gonna debunk that now. It's not true. Like, I've used every mixture of everything, whether it be water-based with gel-based. It's all about how you prep and let things soak into the skin. A lot of times you'll get like things that'll roll off. Only if you are layering too much. If you're getting any rolling, it's because you put too much product. So a lot of the time, that's the reason why I like to let everything absorb before I get into the foundation. Because a lot of times you see the girls, they'll put a primer and then they go right into foundation. So that can happen. So, but I will debunk that now. I don't believe in that, like water-based versus. I don't personally as an artist, because I've never ran into that issue, and I have layered multiple different type of products and never had that issue. So I love bridal makeup because I love, so I love being a part of somebody's special day, and bridal definitely kind of gives me that excitement, which is why I love bridal. It's also a very personal experience for your brides to pick the right artist for your day. So I love being the artist that gets picked for their big day. So I love bridal makeup, which is why I specialize in it. On wedding day, it's usually pretty crazy, so your consultation is never going to reflect how it's going to look the day of. Day of, I always say prepare yourself for the worst, because brides get up, they move around, they're talking, they're doing this and they're doing that. So one thing I like to stress to my brides, that once you're in my seat, I want you to just relax, enjoy the treatment, kind of pick somebody that can be your commander-in-chief to kind of help the day go by a little smooth, so that way you're just relaxing. Does that feel good so far? Mm-hmm. So it's as if I'm toning her skin, hydrating it, and cleansing it all in one. So for me, skincare is important. So based off of somebody's skin, I can really kind of tailor their look based off of my expertise. And what my signature look, I would say, entails of is more that natural glam. And everybody's idea of natural glam is different. Now that her skin is already kind of receiving a little bit of hydration, we want to continue with that. And now I'm going to go in with a serum. I'm going to be using this guy. It's the Skin Ink. You can get it at Sephora. This is also hydrating, hyaluronic acid in it, all that good stuff. I'm going to take a couple of drops, and I'm just going to go ahead and push it into the skin. And I always like to start from the center and work it out. Because right here, majority of the time, the most, if they are dry, is going to be right through this cheek area. Sometimes around the chin. Your skin is really smooth too, so. Your brows are amazing. Thank you. I mean, they better be, right? I feel like right now my more signature look is that more natural glowy look, which has been very big on the market right now for a lot of brides. They just want to look their absolute best, but still have a little glam. So, moisturizer, I did pick only products that would go for like all skin types. Now, typically I would be like, if they're oily, definitely have something in your kit that's for oily skin. I love this moisturizer because you can use it on all skin types, whether it's dry, oily, anything like that. It's the La Roche-Posay. I love this one. This one has a ceramide in it, which will also really help smooth the texture of the skin. It'll also just kind of give this really nice base for the makeup, so I really love this one. I'm just going to take a little bit out, and we're going to work that in her skin as well. Now, here's the thing. If you don't want to use your hands, you can use like a skincare brush. Typically I do, but if you want to give them just a little bit more, you know, a little more of that pampering, use your fingers and really work it in. Primer and setting spray are the top two things that I really make sure are key components in making the makeup last. So primer and setting spray together are like the superheroes of bridal makeup. They really make the makeup stay on the face without budging, without looking worn in. So definitely, I love my Jelly Pop Primer by e.l.f. and I love my L'Oreal Infallible Setting Spray. It is the best. Okay, so the next product I brought was the e.l.f. This is a Jelly Pop Primer. Has anybody tried this one? Now, they do have their gripping primer, which is typically about almost the same. It has that real nice tacky consistency. I love this. Have you tried this one?
I thought they discontinued that.
They did, but they brought it back. Like, I think like 6 months ago.
Oh.
I know I stocked up. I had like 30 of them. Just opened a new one. The reason why I love this, because once again, it works for all skin types, but because of the texture and what it's meant to do, it's kind of like a glue for the face. So whenever I go in foundation, it's just going to help it grip and stay on. Because imagine, brides are dancing, they're going to be sweating, they're going to be interacting, probably rubbing on people, and you want to make sure it's as transfer resistant as possible, and this really helps. So it's one of my favorites. Now the texture is a little funny. A lot of people are like, oh, I don't like that, but if you really warm it up in your fingers and work it into the skin, it just goes on really nicely. Now, if you notice, I also really like to make sure I do all my prep before I do any color matching and things like that, because it's going to give time for everything to kind of absorb before we go back to it. And sometimes you have to put a little more. I also like to put a little extra in like around the mouth area. All the kissing, the drinking, talking, all that. You're gonna be kissing your hubby all night, girl. Are you married? No. Well, we're gonna find her husband stuff. After this, you can go to lunch, you can look fabulous. You might meet him at Chipotle or something. Who knows? Hardly ever get a bride that has a request for colorful looks. And I did get to do a bride that wanted a very pink, vibrant, fun look. And I was able to bring it to life without it looking clownish, I guess some people kind of get scared of. I wanted to still make it look very fresh and fun and something that would be timeless for her, because a lot of the times brides want that more natural tone. So when you get somebody who wants a fun color like pinks and purples, there's ways to go about it without it looking too overly done. Okay, now I have switched over to like a more chunkier pencil, because I find that if I go in with a thinner pencil in this part, it kind of scares people or hurts. So I'm gonna have you keep your eye open but look down. So I'm gonna have her look down, and then I'm gonna lift. Just a nice little push, and then I'm just gonna work that in. Let her blink. Yep, see, because it's kind of uncomfortable. Now you're gonna do the same thing, but you're gonna look down that way. So I'm gonna have her look to the side, and then we're gonna go right in and fill that gap. Once again, don't worry if it's not super perfect. It's almost like you want to get them used to that motion, so when you go back later at the end, it doesn't ruin your makeup. Because a lot of times people will squinch and want to, like, you know what I mean? So same thing, look down. We're gonna go ahead and blink. Same thing, look down. I know, and this, you definitely want to use a waterproof pencil. This one is the Maybelline one. I actually love this one. It's a cream shadow stick and an eyeliner all in one. So if you're somebody who maybe likes a nice smoky eye, this will also give you a nice, really pretty, kind of like how Tiara's eyes looks. It has a little bit of smokiness. This is perfect for that. So, all right. I'm gonna let her eyes kind of get adjusted. Shopping around for the right artist is probably key here. So, and this is something I stress because I feel like if you have a certain style of makeup or you have a certain comfort level with makeup, you want to make sure you are hiring somebody that can, one, execute your look, but also really bring your vision to life and make it more enhanced and more ready for photography, because photography is really big on your day of, and you want to make sure that your makeup is ready to be photographed. When you're doing wing liner, I'm going to turn you this way. So I always want to find the outer edge of her eye first. So a little trick I like to show you guys, I'm going to turn you this way. So if you want the most precision possible when it comes to liquid liner, use the tip of your nose to kind of find where that little, I call them the little triangles of the face. Where the face, you guys know how mapping out is so important, right? This is kind of like what I'm doing. I'm mapping out her liquid liner. So I'm using the tip of her nose, and I'm going to place it right on the outer edge, and I'm going to create a little mark. Open up. See that? That's where I know on each side where I want to place her mark, so that way everything looks nice and precise. So look down. I'm also going to keep my marker or my pen really flat to the eye, and I'm going to work inwards. And then when I get about a quarter way in, I'm going to flip and I'm going to go back. Open up. Look at that. Pretty, right? So I've been doing traditional makeup for over 20 years now. And I would actually like to move into permanent makeup next. So that's something I've actually reached out to Universal Beauty for because I love tattoos. I'm very sturdy with my hands. I've always loved eyebrows, and I already have a list of clients that are ready for me. So I think that's going to be probably my next venture is permanent makeup. I just love the idea of being able to continue in the world of makeup, but a different area of makeup. And yeah, I'm super excited to do that. And as far as like events, you can find any of those on my socials. Right now, there are some dates we're waiting to confirm for our Boss Babes event, which is an all female business owned networking group. So if that's something you're interested in, you can actually find me on all my socials on Instagram and Facebook at Marisol Vanity Room. And then you can visit me at my makeup studios at the Vanity Room, and we're right here in Springfield.